ameno, do re mi, ameno. Mark Spears, blind bags, retirement secured. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another blind bag. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Oh my God. Yes, that is right. I have in front of you not one, not two, but three Mark Spears trick or treat blind bags. And in this video here today, we are going to be doing ourselves a pack rip, pack pull, unboxing, whatever you call it. Okay. I'm new at this trading card thing. Okay. So give me a little grace here as we do our unboxing of our retirement once again. Yes, that is right. The hottest, latest, blindiest, baggest of them all has recently come out this past Wednesday. Of course, you guys know Mark Spears, famous creator of the Monsters universe. He's been a complete and total sensation within the comic book collecting hobby for over a year now. And he recently came out with his Halloween rendition of his blind bag, and we're gonna take a look at some of them and see if we can actually get rich here today. And then on top of that, we got to talk a little bit about blind bags because listen, I'm a big fan of Mark Spears. I think that this one makes a lot of sense. It's Halloween, it feels thematic, it's the monster universe, but at the same time, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of think like this might be the last blind bag. Like I feel like we're at peak blind bagness. And I have a feeling that from here on out, it's going to be very difficult for companies to repeat this thing again. And later on in the video, after I do my unboxing, we're going to talk about that. But of course, before I get into it, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate it. Helps with the channel doing those things. But let us get into it. Okay, here we go. Now, as you guys know, I am the greatest pack ripper, pack puller there is in all of YouTube. I am the luckiest. I am the most sure of their ability to get the sweetest chase hits. Also, because I'm a content creator and I know Mark Spears, you guys know that he sent me personally the 1 and 1000, which I'm obviously going to unveil here today. So let us get into it. I heard your guys' feedback. Last time you guys were mad that I didn't use scissors. I was prepared this time. And let's take a look. Now, a little bit of, some information here. Now, if you guys don't know, Mark Spears, of course, has been, on a tremendous tear creating his Monsters universe, which is sort of an ode to the Universal monsters of old. At first, it was like a trading card. Then he actually made a comic book universe. And ever since then, basically, his covers have been topping the charts time and time and time again. I had him here on the YouTube channel, and he's even recently come out with his own Spawn cover. But, the blind bag thing obviously has been 2025's biggest comic book sensation. And it's really just, continuing to print money. People like this stuff because they have the chance to win big with the 1 and 1000 cover. And ladies and gentlemen, what did I get on my first poll? Read 'em and weep. We got ourselves the Monster and the Wolf. I don't know what cover this is. This is the EC sort of homage. It kind of looks like an EC homage, because we got the horrific up there. Luckily for me, we have all the covers here on the back, which if you guys give me a second, let's take a look and see which one I actually got. So this is the cardstock and foil A26 and A56 cover. I don't know how rare this one is, but hey, pretty awesome. Of course, Mark's work is incredible. I love me some EC homages. Who doesn't love that stuff? Obviously, it's Halloween coming up. So we're getting towards that area of like pre-code horror, Bronze Age horror, even dare I say Copper Age horror, getting hot out there in the secondary market. I mean, it's just like you got to buy your horror stuff during February. Okay. Valentine's Day is the time to buy horror comic books. Not now. Now everyone is going to be FOMOing on horror books, and we're going to have so many pre-code horror and Bronze Age horror sales. And I guess it is what it is. People are just going to continue to buy them. But let me just kind of quickly show you guys here, all of the covers. I apologize for the focus. My camera is not behaving, but there are a tremendous amount of covers that could possibly come from these blind bags. But there you guys have it. All right, that was pack number 1. Did we get rich? Did we get rich? I don't know. We're going to take a look at the market after the fact. All right, next up here, let's take a look. My scissors are a little bit dull, actually, so forgive me here. I don't want to drop the comic book, but I am doing this for transparency purposes, showing you guys that I'm actually opening this up right here, because what if I actually cheated and I didn't actually open the bag that I got the comic book. And one thing I was thinking about. So when I pick up these things, there's no bag and board in here, by the way. These are just straight from the thing. So maybe they'll actually be kind of rare to get in a 9.8 or dare I say a 10.0 grade. But there's no bags in here. And I feel like some of these ones were actually metal covers and like maybe a harder stock. And I can feel the flimsiness on it. And I was sort of wondering, like, I went to my LCS to pick up a few of these comics, and I went in there and they just had a stack of them. And I was basically pretty tempted to like actually go through all of them and feel if I can actually find the metal one. I don't know if people actually do that. Actually, I'm sure that people do that, but I didn't do that. Anyways, all right, shut up, swag. Let's see what you got this second time around. Surely I just made myself $1 million with the same cover. Oh God. Oh God, this is it. This is what you guys do in trading cards. This is the fun. You guys just constantly pack rip and pack pull and all this stuff. You get the same hits or you don't get the hits. Why do you guys do this to yourselves? Well, there you guys have it once again. I got another one of the covers. I mean, I don't know how rare this one is, or if this is even like considered one of the A covers. Maybe this is actually considered one of the A covers, and that's actually why I got the same thing. I actually don't know. I probably should have done my research, but the content machine demanded it. These things came out yesterday, and I had to do a video. So I'm sorry, guys, if you guys are mad at me for not knowing all the covers, but we'll take a look together, and you guys can write it in the comments down below, and you guys can let me know if, in fact, I'm just getting a bunch of cover A's. All right, let's get into the third one right here, and let us see what the hype is all about. Come on, Schwartz. Come I almost dropped that whole thing right there. All right, come on, Schwartz. All right, no more of this, same pack pull stuff. Let's get some of the ultra rare. Let's get some legendary pulls here. Let's get some, golden chocobos or cosmic foil soul stones. Have you guys been opening up the Magic the Gathering stuff? Okay, I have right there a collector booster box. Would you guys be down to watch me make a collector booster box pack rip video? Because what if I got the soul stone? What if I got by the way, I saw somebody get a PSA 10 of the Cosmic Foil Soul Stone. They listed it on eBay for $130,000. Could you imagine? What if I actually got that? Oh, wait a minute, guys. I'll put my fingers on this one. This one feels a little more special than the other ones. I have a good feeling about this. All right, guys. Third time's the charm. Make sure when you buy blind bags, you always buy multiple of them, because the more you open and the more you lose, surely you will then win. This is the gambler's fallacy, right? This is how it works. Eventually, you win $1 million like I did right here on my third Mark Spears Trick or Treat blind bag as I pulled the foil edition, the Werewolf Strikes foil. How rare is this one? I don't know. Let's find out together. All right, I'm going to take a look here. So I got the A13 and A43 cardstock and foil cover. So clearly one that was probably a little more rare, a little more foily, but I didn't get the grand prize. I have a feeling that you have to get to the bottom of these guys right here, where you have to pull, some of these guys to get the grand prize. But who knows? Who knows what these are going for on the secondary market, if there is, in fact, any secondary market value. But at the end of the day, didn't we have fun? We had fun opening these things. I'm looking forward to pulling this out and actually checking out the story. If you guys don't know, Mark Spears, of course, like I said at the beginning, he has his Monsters universe, but this is a new title. Specifically, this is a #1 issue, not to be confused with the Monsters run that he originally created. This is Monster and the Wolf. So I have a feeling it's going to be following a different character within that universe. And as it says right here, the prequel series to Mark Spears' Monsters. So there you guys have it. Mark Spears blind bags are the biggest craze right now. And we have to check in on what's going on with the secondary market for the blind bags, like I already said. I tried to see, what the sales figures were like. He has this one right here that's a Chamber 19 homage, which actually I really would have loved to have pulled that one. That one seems pretty cool. But check this one out. You got a blind bag glow in the dark variant, selling for 150. These are all sales that have happened in the last couple of days. You know, 9.99. People buying, of course, the blind bags themselves, like a whole lot of blind bags for $50 right there. You got $25 right there, $11 right there. A bunch of sales here and there. It's kind of hard to determine, which covers are the standout ones. Oh, wait a minute. Look at this foil monster in the wear. No, I didn't get that one. That's the foil one for $30. Here's the 1 in 700. This was supposed to be 1 in 1,000, but they ended up making a lot more and it went down to 1 in 700. Only selling for $200, not going at the actual incentive ratio, which, you'd think maybe it could sell at $700, but that would be kind of crazy if these things were actually selling for that high. I mean, they printed like 300,000 of these blind bags. So just the fact that they have any sort of secondary market value to me is already impressive. I guess the glow in the dark ones are, pretty pricey. And then you have these ones right here, the 250 variant for Dracula himself going for $100. So there you guys kind of have the market right now for the Mark Spears blind bags. Again, blind bags, guys, what can we say about them? This has definitely been the year of the comic book blind bag. I can't fault the companies or creators for doing this thing. I mean, I'm always really tongue in cheek about this stuff, and I think it's good content, interesting to have a conversation with you guys. And I'm happy to kind of rip them open just so you guys can see what it's all about. But personally, for my own collecting habits, or wanting to just read about Mark Spears' Monsters storyline, I don't really care about the whole blind bag craze. I don't really have that kind of addictive personality, but I know that a lot of people in the collecting world do have that. It's clearly a formula that works very well for trading cards, and it's clearly kind of fits within this sort of social media content creation landscape that we exist in, because everybody wants to see the video of the pack rip pull where the person gets like $1,000 collectible, or a $10,000 collectible, or something even crazy, because these things are viral. Everybody likes sharing them, and this is like the ecosystem that we live in. Not to mention all of the other things going on in our culture where younger people just feel disillusioned by the system. Everybody is trying to get the next meme coin to get rich. Everybody is going 10 times levered on Robinhood to pick the next GameStop stock. Inflation is crazy. AI is taking everybody's job. So the only way you can save yourself from this capitalistic world that we're living in is to go to Costco, punch out all of the kids that are trying to buy Pokemon cards, and try to go to the moon by pulling the rarest in the entire set. That's why people are so addicted to this thing. And then, leading over to things like Courtyard.io or other sort of, gambling-like mechanisms. I mean, talk about DraftKings. We haven't even talked about sports, but imagine the world that, has been created due to all the sports betting and sports gambling and poly market and all this stuff. This is the degeneracy that we live in, but the degeneracy is sure a lot of fun and people like doing it. And I don't think it's going to, slow down anytime soon. Although I do wonder if in comic books, the experiment might start to slow down here. I did talk at the beginning of the video that I do feel like, this Mark Spears blind bag, I think is going to be very, very successful for him, especially. But I do sort of wonder if this is kind of the end. There's just not the same market here. When you buy a sports card pack and you pull the one-of-one chase card autographed by Steph Curry, everybody knows, okay, this is the one that is the cool one from the set. But it just, the branding of the chase comic book is just not the same. So people don't know what they're looking for, and people aren't making the video of them pulling the amazing comic book and everyone having it be known that this person has the one ring that Post Malone bought for the Lord of the Rings set. So I don't think that these things are working because the stories themselves and the comic books and the incentives are just don't have the same sort of fanfare. And so there's no status to this. There's no desirability after the fact. And we're certainly not going to get any validating sale that shows wow, this person got the chase pull and it was actually a sale for it. And now everybody wants to, get their chance at getting that chase pull as well. So I think that that's one of the inherent problems with the comic book blind bags. Anyways, that's all for this video. That was me doing my Mark Spears blind bag unveiling. What did you guys think about the Mark Spears blind bags? How do you guys feel about blind bags these days in general? Did you guys get them? Did you guys pick them up? Did you get better luck than I did? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See y'all in the next video.